Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. Let's, actually, I should build this artillery foundry now while we've, since I'm in a war, I should build myself an artillery foundry. That's going to make things easier. Let me see. Regular Army's got 13 battalions. Let's go ahead and put one more leader in here. Armed Forces guy, Jacksonian Democrat, Dixie-lander, Jacksonian Democrat, Yank. I'll put that guy in. Army of Observation, we'll put this other guy in. So who's this? This is Thomas Jessup. Oh, yeah, okay. I remember Jessup. Soon we'll have artillery. Let's bring in some foreign artillery. Well, we're already bringing in a little bit of foreign artillery. Let's set that to protect domestic supply. Yes. Steel I'm going to leave at middle of the road for now. Again, increasing the... So the steel mills are hiring now. There we go. So that should be dealing with the steel problem. Perfect, and now the artillery problem is dealt with as well. So these units are on their way. We're up to 15 battalions in here, so that's very good. Yep, got some artillery, got some infantry, got some cavalry. Very nice. I'm feeling very confident about my ability to win this one. I can't station my other armies anywhere closer, but unfortunately that simply is what it is. Ah, we have an Afro-American national movement as well. They want cultural exclusion. Interesting. I mean, I guess that's to be expected. South Indian mass immigration to Virginia. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So we got about a 3-to-1 unit strength here, and again, most of these armies are line infantry. So I'm hoping we'll be able to win these battles without too much of a problem. Okay, cool. It's looking good. A little bit of an ammo shortage. So let's go ahead and... Let me see. All of our ammo is coming from munitions plants. Ooh, we're short on market access in Pennsylvania. That's not ideal. I didn't realize that was the problem. We'll go ahead and throw a railway on top there. I'm still going to finish out the artillery foundry in New York. But I see. So that's really what's causing the problem in the customs union right now. Is that Pennsylvania is not fully in it. Alright, enemies in panicked retreat. This should be dealing a lot of damage to them overall. So that should make the next set of battles easier. With our success here, that gives us 25% landing progress. Feeling pretty good about our possibilities at the moment. Alright. Foundry's getting built. Railways next up in the queue. And next battle is going our way for sure, which is wonderful. Excellent. Now... this is the state of Ecuador, and it includes these islands. Alright, beautiful. So, I don't need to separately naval invade those islands. That's very good to see. Very nice. 76% landing progress. And now... Nice. Alright, that makes the state ours, and now it's just a matter of winning the state of Pastaza. Nelson Crocker of the Liberal Movement. Excellent. Alright, I don't have any influence for improving relations with them, but that's okay. How are the great powers feeling about me? Britain is wary. France is genial. Hey, France. What if we had some kind of alliance? Are they still against an alliance? Yeah, looks like they are. That's a shame. But it is what it is. Alright, so... Any changes we can make in our legal structure? So I'd love to go to universal suffrage, but that would make the Southern planters very upset. And I need them not to be upset. Slavers unappeased should be going away pretty soon. Can I see how long? Doesn't appear that oh, modifiers. Here we go. 9 months. Alright, so they'll be a little happier in 9 months, and I'll be able to have a little bit of leeway. Oh, interesting. The private sector is also working on a railway in Pennsylvania. Well, that was extremely smart of me. I guess I don't need this one that urgently then. So we'll throw that one at the bottom of the queue. Let's take a look at the private sector. Yeah, 10 weeks. So I'll build that eventually. But there's no rush. Iron is still very cheap in is getting to be cheaper in our customs union, which is rock solid. Still a little bit short on furniture, it looks like. Where are we with luxury furniture? Luxury furniture, we're overproducing. So we'll go ahead and swap the New York one to prioritize non-luxury. That will make that one less productive? How? Luxury, oh, that's luxury clothes. Luxury furniture is is a little bit more expensive. Yeah, that's curious. I wonder if we are maybe bringing in luxury furniture? No. Luxury clothes. We are bringing in luxury clothes. So I'd like to halt doing that and start bringing in more, start bringing in silk to make it ourselves. Do we have any dyes? We're bringing in a lot of dyes from Italy. So what's our dye situation? Please tell me that's not our entire supply of dyes. It sure isn't. Alright, so I can go ahead and cut this trade route. Without affecting my dye supply a single solitary iota. Let me see. That's going to produce 30 luxury clothes per level, so I don't need that for all of these. Let's swap the ones in Massachusetts over to craftsman sewing. That should produce all of the luxury clothes that we could possibly need. We'll cut this trade route, and we'll bring in a silk trade route from the French market. I'm going to set silk to to protect domestic supply to reduce tariffs. We have an explosive shortage. We're not producing any explosives, huh? Alright, very well then. Let's go ahead and build ourselves an explosives plant in New York. How's market access in New York? Oh, doing just fine. Alright, beautiful. So, explosives factory will be number 1. Where are we with sulfur? Do we have any sulfur sources as yet? We do. Beautiful. Alright, so that's not going to be a problem. Yeah, we're kind of playing it a little fast and loose with our overall situation with respect to supply and demand, but we're doing our best. How's the power block looking? We're at 10 years. We got a good solid little bit more mandate progress from our 2 minor power members. We got IT, we got Liberia, we got Ecuador, and the Indian Territory. So that's nice. Still in a silk shortage, but that's okay. Maybe. See, I wasn't planning on doing any imperialism in Southeast Asia myself, so, we'll kind of see how that goes. I might end up abandoning that. It's not a hard and fast policy yet. Indian removal is probably going to continue. Let's see, we lost the ones in North Carolina already, right? Yes. South Carolina as well. But we still have plenty of Native Americans in Georgia, Alabama, and Arkansas, and Tennessee. So I think we're going to get that event 4 more times. That's interesting. I never actually looked at the demographics of that. I assumed it was kind of one after another, but it turns... Oh, we're adjacent to Texas. Can't colonize Texas because Mexico's got a claim. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, same with Utah, it turns out. Interesting, interesting. So, if we... Ah, and that's what the Manifest Destiny... Oh, the Afro-American National Movement is disbanded. Well, that's a shame. This is market for luxury clothes. Luxury clothes, unfortunately, not ideal. Let's import some silk from the British market. They've also got plenty of silk available for purchase. Again, it's better to purchase raw materials abroad than and to use them to manufacture goods in your own country than it is to purchase manufactured goods abroad. Could use some more paper mills, could use some more furniture manufactories, although obviously I'm doing my best to provide myself with a supply of explosives and to increase my iron output because I need to get my construction up. I'm still banking a lot of cash that I don't need to be banking. I can also go ahead and increase the size of my navy, I think. Let's see. You're an industrialist's moderate, you're a southern planter's moderate. So this navy is potentially going to be split. Ooh, I got a lot of options here. You're a Dixielander moderate. Ooh, hold on. John Ross's protest petition. Chief John Ross, one of the principal Cherokee chiefs, has presented a petition to Congress asking them to void the treaty, which will compel the Cherokee Nation to relocate to the Indian Territory. This petition has almost as many signatures as the entire eastern Cherokee population. By the stipulations of this treaty, we are stripped of every attribute of our freedom. Our property may be plundered before our eyes. Violence may be committed on our persons. Even our lives may be taken away. And there is none to regard our complaints. We are denationalized. We are disenfranchised. We are deprived of membership in the human family. A treaty is a treaty. We cannot rescind what we have signed, happier southern planters. Or our conscience compels us to void the removal treaty. Further removals will be stalled for 3 years. But the southern planters will be unhappy. So... southern planters are still unappeased for another 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say a treaty is a treaty, because I can't let them get below 0, because if they do that, they're going to try to coup the government, and that's going to get in the way of our doing all the things we want to do. Alright, so here's nationalism. So once that means our infamy gets to 0... I'll go ahead and hit the Manifest Destiny button, and then I'll chill a bit. That will give me a claim on Utah and Texas, I believe. Well, it'll give us claims on all of these territories, and that'll make it easier for us to attack Mexico. But we're not going to attack Mexico right away, obviously, because we'll have a bunch of infamy about it. So we'll need to be a little bit conscientious about managing that, and that's just kind of how it's going to be. Still in the process of colonizing Florida. Relations with the Brits are good. Can I tell? Yeah. Cordial relations. And the Brits are genial, so that's nice. So maybe I'll do that, but maybe I'll also look into options for grabbing protectorates over these other countries. Great Britain now has no interest. France is a little bit of an interest. Potentially, but they're more supportive of us. So that's interesting. The fugitive slave. A slave belonging to John Calhoun, the president, has escaped his estate and fled to a northern free state. Calhoun has demanded his return, but abolitionists are calling for his demands to be ignored. There are a few things I care about more than justice. If a man loses his jacket, it's only natural that it would be returned to him, right? I'm simply asking for what's mine to be returned to me. Why is this causing such an uproar? We shall find and return John Calhoun's fugitive slave. Everybody big mad, but southern planters happy. Or free soil makes anyone free. John Calhoun will get no help from the government. Southern planters salty -3 once again. So, I'm going to make the petit bourgeois angry if I do the first one. On the other hand, if I return the slave, what does that open the option to me to do? I could take dedicated police force. That would make everyone happier, and it would weaken the southern planters. Can't get to laissez-faire because no one prefers it over interventionism. I think I'm going to do that. Now, if I go to slavery banned, Okay, that's an automatic -20 from the Southern planters. So I functionally can't do that until I get the Whigs in government. So I think we're going to find the fugitive slave. But then I'm going to move to dedicated police force. And that's going to put the Southern planters at +3. Alright, well, we're doing our best with that. Everyone's mad, but we are making a few people happier. At least so now. Labor movement is unlocked. Extra potential agitators. Wonderful. So I think I can safely make a protectorate over Venezuela at this stage. They don't have much of an army, so I think I'll be able to do this without a problem. So who are powers that could potentially stand in my way? Netherlands, Brazil, Central American Republic, or United States of Central America. It's a risk. I think I can fight all of them. Potentially. This would delay my my Manifest Destiny decision, but I think I'm going to do it. Again, grabbing protectorates over these countries is very useful to do early on in the game, because doing it early lets you do all the stuff you want to do without getting too much infamy. Alright, Venezuela's damaging relations, that's fine. I'm going to stop improving relations with them for the time being. I'm still improving relations with New Grenada. No one seems interested in stepping in. Excellent. So this will get another country into our customs union, and then, or into our, well, yeah, into our customs union. It'll be a power block eventually, and we're working on dedicated police force. Regular army, let's put them in the south, in the Dixie HQ for now, and we'll put them up in the internaval invasion when the time comes. The Indian removal. Again, in accordance with the removal treaty, it's time for the Cherokee of Georgia to relocate to the Indian Territory. Some holdouts refuse to leave their homes, and many are poorly equipped for the journey. My friends, circumstances render it impossible that you can flourish in the midst of our community. You have but one remedy within their reach, and that is to remove West. The sooner you do this, the sooner you will commence your career of improvement and prosperity. We're going to offer some assistance for the journey. It's going to cost some cash, but it's a lot better than coursing them at bayonet point. This is the core population of the Indian Territory, so, you know, it's what we gotta do. Wow, standard of living is rough down there. I have reduced subject payments. Can I do anything else for them that won't be a problem for me? Could exempt them from service. I think that's probably the best way to go. Knowledge sharing is going to goof up my tech spread, although my tech spread is pretty solid. Excellent. Early success in dedicated police force puts us in study. That is very good. What's the capital of Venezuela? Is it Zulia? It's not. It's Miranda. That said, I think I'm going to invade Zulia because I don't want two fronts. I don't want to put myself into a two fronts situation. I think this railway in Pennsylvania is actually less important than these construction sectors, so I'll put that one at the bottom. The abolitionists' martyrdom. An ardent abolitionist writer died in a firefight against a pro-slavery mob which had gathered in front of his house. The story has gone national and radicalized previously apathetic individuals high and low. His friends sighed. The funeral had been small, lest the mob appear again in force. The gravestone itself was simple, not calling attention to itself. The only embellishment that had been allowed was a simple inscription. Here lies a brave man, now spare his grave. Ghastly, the violence of slavers must be resisted. Silas Turchin will change ideology to abolitionist. He is the leader of the intelligentsia and a reformer. Or, this abolitionist agitation must be stopped. Winfield Scott, the head of the armed forces, will become a slaver. I'm going to do the first one. More abolition is good. Alright, so let's naval invade Zulia with the regular army. So far these wars haven't cost us much financially. No one's gotten involved, and that's been very good. New Grenada is an obvious next target. Got 200 influence to play with. Central America usually breaks up by now, but there's no reason not to have relations with them. Exile from Brazil. I am slowly wrecking relations with Brazil, actually, though, so maybe they're a better... Ooh, it's going to cost a little bit more to improve relations with Brazil. So I'll tell you what, we'll stop improving relations with the Indian territory. And we'll start working with Brazil, because they're going to be the ones that I'm going to need to get into my customs union diplomatically. Ooh, I'm actually losing my landing here. Does Venezuela have a real army? Not as much. Bureaucratic imbroglio. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of dedicated police forces found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. The fully developed bureaucratic apparatus compares to other organizations exactly as does the machine with the non-mechanical modes of production. That is to say, the teeth of its individual gears meet in accord, or its gears will gnash and churn until it eventually breaks. Damn this labyrinthine legal system, increase enactment time, reduce enactment chance, or cut through at least some of the red tape, increased enactment time, radical bureaucrats in DC, but no reduction in enactment chance. Oh, the loss of some bureaucracy. I'm going to do the second one. It costs me a little bureaucracy, but it's not that much. Okay, so our first battle's a loss. Let's see what becomes of our second battle. I made to halt the naval invasion and wait for more troops to be raised. I think I'm going to increase the size of this navy a little bit. So let me see. We'll build 5 frigates in New Jersey and then 4 more man-o-wars in New York and Massachusetts. Alright, here's another battle. We're losing this one as well. Okay, so actually, I'm going to cancel this naval invasion. So that cancels the ongoing battle. What that's going to do is remove the regular army back to... I'll put them in Dixie. And the fleet's going to go to the HQ. Sierra Leone wants military assistance. No, thank you. Get your military assistance from the British. Van Diemen's like, no, get out of here. And I'm going to throw a few more conscripts into this army just to get them up to 30. Let me see. That's 18 infantry, 8 artillery, and 2 more cavalry. France has formed the Garonne League. Well, that's unfortunate. Because our relations are now neutral, and I want relations with France to be jovial. Public address goes awry, another stall event. What was meant as a routine speech about the merits of dedicated police force by Joseph Wallace has quickly devolved into a public relations disaster for the petit bourgeois. Fumbling his way through a series of poorly presented talking points, Joseph Wallace's arguments have been viciously and convincingly picked apart by his political opponents. The question on everyone's lips now is merely if this mishap was due to the inherent failings of dedicated police force, or can be chalked down to the political incompetence of the petit bourgeois. It's the fault of this poorly thought out proposal, 15% reduction in enactment chance. Joseph Wallace must take the blame for this setback, 10% reduction in enactment chance, and he loses some popularity, petit bourgeois become weaker, or scrap the current draft and make a show of a rewrite. This gives us 1 setback, but 10% increased enactment chance. Oh, I'm inclined to take the... This might be a mistake, but I'm going to do it. So we'll take a setback, but that'll put us at 37%. Our stall chance is only 12%. So our chances of getting another stall in the short term are really, really low. We are building up more manpower in this army. Let me just make sure we're using the highest training production method. Where's my conscription centers? Oh, we're not using training methods for our conscription centers. That's why I'm not doing well on that front. So let's throw this railway once again at the bottom because I want to build up these naval bases ASAP. Because I need to be able to move in with this navy. Where's our munitions plant? The munitions plant is in Pennsylvania, and it's running a little low, which is unfortunate. Are we bringing in munitions? Is that why? No, we're not. It's hard to keep the munitions balance in the early game in Vicky 3. I do declare. So that puts us at 21 battalions. I'm going to start my naval invasion once again and see if we can get in there properly this time. I am increasing the size of my naval bases, and I'm going to try to do that as fast as I can because I wasn't thinking about how much construction I had between these naval bases and the army itself, and we're going to take some efficiency loss there. Language in the classroom. Afro-American students sometimes use their native language in American schools. Some have called for teachers to penalize the use of these languages, forcing children to speak the official language of the USA. You noticed it too, right? He always gets angry when anyone else talks in class, but I think he gets angrier when we're talking. Maybe he thinks we're talking about him. I just think he doesn't like being reminded that we know something he doesn't. Schools should teach the proper language. 10% of Afro-American pops become more radical. Extra radicalism for open prejudice and below levels of acceptance, extra assimilation. Or the language is part of their heritage, petit bourgeois mad, reduced assimilation. Reduced radicalism for lower than open prejudice and below. Can I tolerate the petit bourgeois being angry right now? Can't really. So we're gonna have to do the first one, unfortunately. And it is what it is. See, I hope that we're able to, that our force ratio is able to get done what we need to get done, and that having these naval bases will allow us to get where we need to get. In due time without having too significant penalties in terms of our naval invasion efficiency, which arises from having more battalions in the army than we do flotillas in the navy. The art of doing nothing. Though previously opposed to dedicated police force laws, Nelson Crocker has considered the yeoman farmer's political position and instead offers support. While speaking with constituents on matters of law, one must first master the art of appearing to do nothing, while you do everything behind whispers and masked men. Indubitably. We welcome their support. Nelson is the head of the intelligentsia. Welcome their support. 10% enactment chance. The other one creates this sort of suspicion circumstance that can be a little weird and awkward. Please tell me I've got enough man-o-wars to support this increase. Gosh, I sure hope I do. And I don't. Alright, where are my military shipyards? They're in Virginia. So, but they're low employment, which is curious. Let's build some alternate military shipyards in New Jersey. And we'll throw those in actually above that Pennsylvania Railway, and that'll be just fine. This is going to increase the size of the American Navy, and that's exactly what I want. The man-o-war shortage shouldn't be a problem in the short term, assuming I can get the landing progress that I need to get. Well, actually, I'm going to bring in some man-o-wars. We'll buy them from Britain, Russia, France. Because I don't want to lose a war to Venezuela. Alright, beautiful. That's a good... One of the Tokugawas has been exiled because he's a pacifist. Agitator. Very interesting. I don't want to lose a battle to Venezuela. Hopefully as we win more battles, we'll have their war support, our war support will decay slower. We're not holding the capital, so I need to be conscientious about this. Our navy is increasing in size, so that should keep our invasion efficiency high, and it does appear that we are winning battles pretty quickly now. Whew! Oh, that was touch and go for a bit, I will say. I do declare that was touch and go for a bit. 47% chance of success, 40% chance of an advance. I'm really hoping we can make that happen. And here is the landing. So, now we're going to be fighting on land, and that's going to be much easier. Well, advancement, up 15% to 62%. Hopefully we can get ourselves a proper police force. Here's the Battle of Miranda. Very good. How much occupation does that give us? 28%. Wonderful. All right. So now we're going to get them down to 0 war support in no time, even if we're not able to fully occupy the country. And we'll start improving relations with them again later. Happily improving relations with New Grenada. I really could use some more influence. I don't want to rival anybody too dangerous, though. That's the thing. Like, Brazil is still dangerous with respect to me. They're weaker than I am, but Emperor Pedro de Braganza is a tough customer. Alright, so, Venezuela Protectorate, they will accept. Propose peace. Alright. Well, it's been an eventful episode. We got our protectorate over Venezuela. We got our protectorate over Ecuador. I want to do the same for New Grenada eventually. We'll see if I do that immediately or if I go directly to the Manifest Destiny decision. It'll be nice to have protectorates. I don't intend to reduce them to below protectorates in terms of autonomy because I don't necessarily... It doesn't help me to have sub-protectorate levels of autonomy countries in my power block. I don't need to be sort of draining their economies to support my own. I'm the United States. I'm a huge country. That's just not efficient use of our resources. Alright, so that is all we've got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.